Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting with this immediate short term for Bitcoin on the 2-hour time frame. After that, we're going to look at some higher time frames as well. And as always, guys, nothing I say in this video is my personal opinion. I will only be looking at the objective technical analysis, not spreading any fear that we need to crash to $50,000 or that we need to pump to 150K by next week. Like I said, only objective analysis and nothing more. So for now, we are still in a technical downtrend on this lower time frame. Notice how we are still clearly just making lower lows and lower highs here. This is simply what we call a downtrend. If you want to start to see a reversal for Bitcoin, you need to look for a couple of key factors here on the 2-hour time frame. First of all, of course, we need to see a break of that descending trend line. This could be as high as about 110K, but keep in mind that this does trend down over time, so you need to draw it in your own chart. Besides that, we also have this descending trend line in the RSI momentum indicator. Now, likely, if we are going to see some kind of reversal here, we are first going to see a break of this RSI momentum indicator. That is going to be that first bullish point of confluence. Now, like I said, in combination with a break of this descending trend line in the price, as well as increasing amounts of volume here at the bottom. Those are the type of signals that you want to be looking for in order to confirm a proper reversal. In terms of an invalidation, if you see anything except clear bullish momentum after this break, you need to be very, very cautious because this is still just a technical downtrend so long as we're not breaking above 111.3K. So this is, of course, right now a very risky time to be bullish, but I just want to show you guys the bullish and the bearish cases here. Now, moving on to the 1-day time frame, here you can see that nothing has actually changed. We are still bearish biased until we break above 115.5K. So you can see that right here we started forming this bullish structure in the short term. And of course, we took advantage of that on the lower time frames. But right here we saw a perfect rejection from this area of resistance, which you can see right here in my chart as well. We had this area of resistance here from 115 all the way up to 117K. This is where we saw the rejection, and therefore we didn't get those candle closes above 115.5. So for now, nothing has changed, and we can simply keep this in the charts here. Still bearish bias, expecting new lows to be made so long as we are not breaking above 115.5K. And besides that, on this 3-day time frame, you can see that we are actually rejecting from the bull market support band. Typically not a bullish signal either. So there are absolutely some warning signals that we need to keep an eye on over the next coming days and potentially even weeks. Now, before I move on to the ETF analysis and the liquidity analysis, let's quickly take a look at some areas of support and resistance. Right now we have big resistance from 110 all the way up to 112K. Of course, we are already trading fairly far below that. We're already in the next big area of support, sitting from 105 up to 107,000. The next level of support below, in the case that we break below 105, is sitting from 103 all the way down to 102K in the Bitcoin price. Moving on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we saw a big net outflow of close to $500 million in a single day of trading. Not really a trend yet, but potentially the start of a trend reversal from these Bitcoin ETFs, considering that it is such a big outflow here. However, we're just going to keep an eye on this over the next coming couple of days to see if this is actually a trend that is changing. Apart from that, on this 3-day time frame, most of the liquidity is simply to the upside here. Typically, the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. So this is actually pointing towards the upside. This is also why I started the video with a potential reversal looming on the lower time frames. However, you need to see clear confirmation of that actually happening, right? Until then, we are simply in a downtrend, looking for lower levels of liquidity to be grabbed, which you can also see on this 2-week time frame. We are very, very close to taking out a bunch of liquidity here around this 106K level. and even around 104.4k. So to summarize here, on the 1 day time frame, I still remain bearish biased. Nothing has really changed there. Apart from that, on the lower time frames, this is still just pointing towards the downside, although there is a possibility of a reversal coming, but we need to get proper confirmation before we can start talking about any of that. It is just good to know, though, that there is a bunch of liquidity up here. So if you start to see that break of the trend, the break of the RSI, possibly some kind of bullish divergence showing up, increasing amounts of volume coming in, then those are actually warning signals if you are a short-term bear in that case. Of course, nothing I say in my videos is financial advice, but I'm simply telling you objectively what I'm seeing in the charts. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.